If there's one room that this season's going to hinge on, it's the offensive line. And it appears that there are some major changes happening on that line that should get y'all excited. So, based upon spring practices, let's dive into this room review like we've been doing over the last few days. We're going to go O-line and move into the skills position. Before we do that, welcome to Unfair Sports. I'm your host, Jay. Thank y'all for pulling up to the channel. This video is powered by our partners over there at BetUS TV. Check out their YouTube channel. They're giving you all the best odds and options when it comes to jumping into the odds game. So check them out, BetUS TV. And so, the Sooners' offensive line has been the question of everything. If you checked out me and John talking about it the other day on Locked On Sooners, we kind of broke down some of the spots. And there's been some things I've been thinking about around the O-line. And Bill Beatonbo's got his work cut out. But it sounds like there's one guy that has become an emerging star on the offensive line here starting off. We talked about him a little bit on Sunday, but let's break this bad boy down. First and foremost, the one thing that I'm excited about the offensive line is that you've only got two guys that's under 300 pounds right now. That is Gunnar Allen, who's one of the walk-ons from Aledo, Texas, and then true freshman Sean Hutton, who's 292 out of Lewisville, Texas. You know, close friends with Michael Fasusi. He's also just under 300, but I promise you, he's going to hit well over that. And so, you know, I'm not really that concerned in that capacity. The biggest question I have about this offensive line when we look at it is who's going to be where and how does the 2 and 3 deep work out, especially around the offensive tackle. So I'm gandering at this chart. We're going to overview first, and we're going to talk about how the depth chart I feel like is going to go. But the size is there. Guys are now in the system longer. If you want to see an example of being in the Bill Beatonbow school of elite offensive line building, go look at Troy Everett. Troy Everett came in here. He was under 300 when he got here from Appalachian State. He worked his butt off, played in 23, and they had him at guard because you had Andrew Rame, who had been the starting center for a few years. And when we got to the Texas game, Troy was getting beat up. Just wasn't working out. Got yanked. You saw Caden Green play. He transfers out. But then this past season, before he got hurt, he was showing out in spring as well as fall in spring. Gets hurt, misses all fall practice, gets back after the Tennessee game, and he was one of your highest graded offensive lines out there. He was. Troy Everett was kicking tail, taking names, and he was doing everything you all was hoping for out of the offensive line. Someone to show you that Bill Beatonbow can develop. He gave you that. Then you saw the rotary of players that come in and out. Then, Gary Hatchett transfers and goes back home because it didn't work out. He was hoping to get his little brother in, but it's okay. So I think the line is now in a better place. We're not dealing with as many injuries. Now you've got guys out because of, labrum surgeries or whatnot, getting their, shoulders and everything cleaned up. But the one thing I do know is the offensive line looks a hell of a lot better right now, even with some of the younger players, than it did before. Let's talk about what that depth chart's going to look like. But first, shout out to our partners over there at BetUS. They are hooking you up. They got the odds up right now for the Oklahoma Sooners and UConn coming on Friday. Right now, the Sooners are 4.5-point dogs in this game and could change right before the game. So if you want to jump in the action, go check out BetUS TV, the YouTube channel. They're giving you all the odds and breaking it down to what you need to look for. So go check them out. Search BetUS TV, where the game begins. So look at this depth chart in rotation, man. Here in the spring, when I start off, now this is some of the stuff that's been coming down the line. Players that have been breaking out. First and foremost, Derek Simmons is most likely your starting right tackle. That's nothing against Jake Taylor, Isaiah Truden, or any of those guys, but the experiencedness of him, as well as what I'm hearing as far as his ability to toss dudes around, he's country strong. We mentioned it on Sunday, and somebody asked, Jay, what does that mean to be country strong? Meaning paws, man. Hands are just natural strong with grip because they're used to grabbing stuff out on the farm and throwing stuff around, barrels of hay, etc. He's got natural strength from doing stuff around the house. That's country strong. He grabs you. He's probably not going to let go. Kind of like we talked about Marcus Strong when he was a recruit. He had them really, really strong paws, and he grabbed dudes and just pull them down for sacks and tackles. And he's starting to show that now on the D-line. Derek Simmons is in that world. So he's one of the big breakouts. You're also hearing a heck of a lot from Michael Fasusi as well as Ryan Fogier. If you listen to the interview we did with Kendall Dolby yesterday, that was one person he pointed out. He's like, hey, Fogier, hey, dude's a beast. Dude's a monster. He's one to keep your eyes on. Totally agree with him because he's definitely someone that you need to pay attention to. And he's one that I expect to also get some big time reviews going forward. Ryan Fogier is one that Gabe Eichert has just got a man crush with. He talks about his ability, and he say he looks like a guard, an SEC guard right now. He is listed at 6'5", 324, and he plays very well with his feet. Good footwork. And he's a tackle, but he can play guard. He's probably going to play guard to start because that's what Bill Beatonbow does. He makes you learn every position. That makes you so much more marketable in the NFL. Believe me, that's really what NFL scouts have said about Bill Beatonbow's kids. But when I'm looking at the way that the depth chart's probably going to start going into fall ball, this is what I'm thinking. Left tackle, you're going to have probably Jacob Sexton. Sexton, I think, is going to still retain his left tackle position with Logan Howland right behind him. I think your left guard is going to be Eddie Pierre-Louis. Sounds like he's having a phenomenal spring camp, winter workouts as well as spring practice. He's having a great spring camp. He's showing up, and he may push himself into that starting lineup. Your center is definitely Troy Everett. Right behind him, I'm not sure. I think Josh Isosa is the guy right now. It doesn't sound like anyone has solidified the number 2 spot yet. We'll go with Josh just because he's been here. He's a redshirt freshman. Right next to Troy Everett at right guard is going to be Favichi Wewu. Wewu was one of your better graded guys as well for Oklahoma last year. And that was because what? He was consistent. I don't think he missed a game last year. Can we say that about anybody else? Right? Like, he's one of the dudes that played just about every game. He played 13 games last year. Him, Jake Roberts were every game. Zion Rajan, he played every game. Few could say they did that. And again, when Troy Everett came back, he became one of your higher graded pass blockers at 75 grade on PFF. He was kicking tail as a blocker in the 8 games he got to play. So I'm saying to you this. It's going to be a nice lineup. And then right tackle's most likely going to be Derek Simmons. And I think right behind him is probably going to be Isaiah Autry-Dent. Now, you may be asking about Jake Taylor. What's up with him? It's up and down with the young man. That I've heard, it's been an up and down spring camp for him. That, you know, he's working through some things. I think he'll be fine long term. He'll probably end up playing at the number 2 spot. But I'm pushing for Isaiah Autry-Dent. But I think it'll be between those two. It'll probably be an or on that one to start off. But the offensive line's got a lot of great potential. Daniel Akinkumi is starting to come along, and he's moved up into 313 in size. Jeez Louise. Luke Baklinko, I've been hearing great things about him. He actually may end up being on the left tackle spot. He may battle it out with Sexton and Howland for the left tackle. Supposedly, he's really, really good. Also, he's having a solid camp. So, I'll put it this way. The offensive line will be better next season. And the blessing behind this, knock on wood, we don't deal with injuries, but we deal with them. We actually have people that can step up immediately. We're not reliant on super young players. Everybody's got snap experience and SEC experience. Everybody's getting their tail kicked in it. Now you got dudes you can go ahead and immediately push into the game. Let me know what y'all think. Hop in the comments. Let me know your thoughts. How you feel about this offensive line? Who you think's going to play? What you thinking? Give me your feeling on the squad there. You made this far, you like the content, go ahead, hit that like button. If you're new to the channel, subscribe. I'd love for y'all to join this family of Sooner fans talking OU football, SEC, college football in general, having a blast doing it. We'll have another video come down the line this weekend. I'm headed to go watch some college basketball. Actually, I'm here watching college basketball in Vegas. I've recorded this early before I left. So y'all enjoy. And we will chop it up with the last positions. We'll go through wide receiver, running back, and John Mateer all next week. We'll talk soon. Peace.